So as we know that acceleration is equal to v minus u by time. The first situation as v greater than u means final velocity of the body is greater than initial velocity. So this v minus u is a positive number or positive integer. Therefore, acceleration is positive. So what are the situations where the acceleration is positive? Means final velocity should be greater than initial velocity. The best example is freely falling body. As the body freely falling from a top of a tower or a top of a building towards the earth, and the beginning its initial velocity is 0. But while it is reaching towards the destination, nothing but the earth, the body is under the influence of gravitational force or in the direction of the gravitational force, gravitational pull. It is surrendered to the gravitational pull. That's why the body's velocity keep on increasing as the points it is crossing. Then its final velocity on the earth will be a maximum one when compared to the initial velocity. This is one of the example. So freely falling body, we can expect a positive acceleration. One more example is if the body is trying to accelerate to move from rest to motion. So a vehicle accelerated to move from rest to motion. This is also one of the cases where we can expect the positive scale of the acceleration. The next situation is, as we know the formula A is equal to v minus u by t, where v less than u means final velocity is less than initial velocity. If a final velocity is less than initial velocity, v minus u will become a negative integer. Automatically, a is negative. If acceleration is negative, it is also called deceleration or retardation. Or retardation. In which cases this deceleration or retardation is possible? So like if the body is thrown upward, a projected body, in case of the projected bodies, yes, in the beginning we will throw with some velocity, but as the body moving against the gravitational pull, it has to overcome the gravitational pull, but it won't be possible. That's why its velocity is going to decrease at a point such as nothing but the maximum height position, its velocity completely becomes to 0. So u is some positive value, but automatically v is becoming 0. As comparison, v is less than u. So for the projected bodies, this deceleration or retardation is possible. One more example, suddenly if a body is moving with a constant velocity or the velocity keeps on increasing, suddenly brake should be applied to avoid an accident or to avoid any diversion in the route. So in this case, the body will come to rest, or if you down the accelerator, its velocity is going to decrease. So when compared to the initial situation, its initial velocity is greater than the final velocity, or vice versa, final velocity is less than the initial velocity. So body, a vehicle, brakes applied, a bus while it is reaching towards a destination, a bus halt or a bus stop, yes, the driver should decrease the velocity. A train which is coming to the platform or approaching the platform or approaching a big railway station platform for the passengers to carry. So that's why there also the train, the loco pilot has to apply the brakes to decrease the velocity or to halt the vehicle for some time. So when before approaching the platform, the body is under some uniform velocity. While it is approaching, it has to apply the brakes, whether it is from 1 kilometer before or 2 kilometers before. The body will slowly slow down and the down accelerator takes place, and it will comes to rest at the prescribed position or that particular platform of the position of a vehicle. So in this cases also, its initial velocity is greater than the final, or the final velocity is less than the initial velocity. It's a comparative situation. It's a situation dependent. In this cases also, we can see the acceleration is negative, nothing but the deceleration or retardation. Now we will see the nature and shape of the graphs. We will see the displacement time graphs first. As we know that displacement should be taken on y-axis, time should be taken on x-axis. In this graph, there are some situations. The first situation is the object or the particle at rest. In this case, yes, this is the modal graph. Time t, this is displacement. Yes, on y-axis, this is on x-axis. As we know, this is seconds, this is in meters. If the particle is at rest or the object is at rest, the nature of the graph will be like this. Means distance by time, it is a constant, means the body is not at all moving. So what is the nature of the graph? A line parallel to x-axis. At which point the lines have start, that point we can say that S0. This S0 is initial displacement. This is one of the situation in the displacement time graphs. And second one, the body is in uniform motion. The object or particle in uniform motion. So in this case, this is the modal graph. This is time t, seconds. This is displacement. Yes, this is in meters. So the object is in uniform motion which starts from zero velocity, then you can say a graph like this. Means a straight line passing through origin having positive slope. A straight line passing through origin having positive slope. There are many other situations, we will see one by one. Third example and the third nature is particle with uniform acceleration. Particle or object with uniform acceleration. Yes, the nature of the graph. like this. If you are taking displacement on y-axis, we should take the t square on x-axis, because acceleration formula is meter per second square. So yes, here it is t square, or we can take v or t. So in this case, the nature of the graph will be like this. Means it is an exponential growth, have positive slope. This graph indicates the initial velocity or displacement is 0. But initial velocity or displacement is not 0, then the graph is like this. Again, it is t square r t, whether it is s or v. So the intercept on y-axis gives the initial velocity or initial displacement of the body. Will give initial velocity or displacement. So like this, we can see the different nature of the graphs for different situations. The next one, particle with uniform retardation. Retardation means negative acceleration. So the graph is like this. Again, we can take s or v, t square or t. This is the case. Then the graph will be an exponential decay or parabola with decreasing slope. If a body projected vertically upwards, then the situation, the graph is like this. A perfect parabola which tends from minus k to plus k. Having limits from minus k to plus k. So these are the different graphs under the displacement term and time variation. Next we will see velocity time graphs. The next is velocity time graphs. So the first situation is the particle at rest. So it is like this. So a straight line parallel to x-axis. So this is velocity, this is time. So time on x-axis, velocity on y-axis. So it is meters per second, it is seconds. Now, the body which has uniform acceleration, a body with uniform acceleration. So, for acceleration, the physical quantities we need is velocity and time. So, again we are taking the velocity and time on x-axis and y-axis respectively. So, you will get a straight line passing through origin has positive slope. So, like this we can understand the graphs. So, the next graphs are like this. The third example, a particle with uniform acceleration with initial velocity u. The previous graph, the initial velocity is 0. That's why straight line passes through origin having the positive slope. But here, the initial velocity is u. So, here we can say the graph is like this. Let us say this is v. From here, the graph will be. This is time, seconds. This is velocity. This is final velocity. But we should find out, we should keep the initial velocity in the graph. So, that is why this point which gives the initial velocity. So, it is also a positive slope, has y intercept. A positive slope has y intercept. The same, it is uniform acceleration. If the body is under the uniform retardation with the initial velocity u and 0, the situations are like this. A particle with uniform retardation with initial velocity 0. So, the graph like this. It is time. Uniform retardation, acceleration means goes on positive, retardation means like this. So, automatically initial velocity will be 0, final velocity will be 0. The next concept is acceleration time graphs. The first situation in this graph is the body with uniform acceleration. So, acceleration should be on y-axis, time should be on x-axis. So, this is the modal graph. This is A. Units are meter per second square. This is time t in seconds. If the body is under the uniform acceleration, we will get a straight line which is parallel to the x-axis. If the body is with non-uniform acceleration, If a body is executing the non-uniform acceleration, it don't have a perfect velocity, means its velocity is variable, acceleration is also a variable, means the total motion of the body, the throughout motion, we can say it is invariable. So like this. So we can draw any zigzag path in the shape of graph because it is a variable acceleration, means it is not under the uniform or not maintaining the constant acceleration. So like this, a zigzag path we can draw, acceleration, time. So any zigzag path, the path which is not in the confined shape, which is the meaning of non-uniform acceleration. Like this also we can say. So these are the graphs which are helpful to demonstrate the nature of the object, whether it is in the rest or motion, whether it is in motion, what is the nature of motion, whether it is uniform motion or non-uniform motion. So like this we can understand the graphs with the help of units and their usual meanings. The next point is the kinematic equations of motion. So these motion equations of kinematics is very important point in this lesson. Now we are going to derive some 4 equations. These all equations are very important to describe the motion of the body. These equations can be derived by 2 methods. The first method is calculus method. Second method is graphical method. Calculus methods means differentiation and integration, means we are deriving the equations on the basis of differentiation and integration. Graphical method means we are using the slope of the graphs to find out the equations. Slope and shape of the graphs. So in both the process, both the methods, we are getting the same equations. So we will see the first part, nothing but the calculus method. The first equation. We know that acceleration of the body is dv by dt, where dv is change in velocity, v minus u, where dt is change in time, so it is some t1 minus t2 or t2 minus t1. So we know that a is equal to v minus u by t. The change in velocity is represented by dv, where dv is nothing but the difference in the velocity and time is difference in the time. So if a is equal to dv by dt, we can say that dv is equal to a into dt by cross multiplying. After that, this dv means change in velocity. It is changed from u to v, and dt was changed from 0 to t. So this is the body. When a body is traveling from point to point, its initial velocity is u and final velocity is v. At the point where the body is executing the initial velocity u, there the time is some 0 seconds or t1 seconds. As the body moving in the straight line, the time has changed from t1 to t2, t2 to t3, so it is continued, t1, t2, t3. So automatically, if the body has changed the position with respect to velocity, then automatically there is a change in velocity occurs. The change in time is compulsory. So dv is equal to a dt. So on integrating, both sides with limits, so the step is like this: integral dv This integration means is a type of summation. Summation means they will give the initial fixed value to upper fixed value. So lower fixed value to the upper fixed value. So with respect to these limits, we are summing or summation of the all values. It is this integration symbol is almost similar to the sigma in mathematics. So the velocity has changed from u to v is equal to a into dt with respect to the time 0 to t. So the way to do the final solution is upper limit minus lower limit. So dv will become v, because integral dv is v from upper limit to lower limit, where a is the constant. Integral dt will become t from upper limit to lower limit. So upper limit minus lower limit is v minus u, where a into t minus 0. Therefore v minus u is equal to at. Therefore v is equal to u plus at. This is called first kinematic equation of motion. The first kinematic equation of motion, and another name of this equation is velocity time relation. There are two more equations. We will see the derivation of those two also. The next kinematic equation is, we know that velocity of the body is equal to rate of change in displacement. So displacement by time. So mathematically, the body has started from this point. Let us say the initial point is from 0, and it was extended to another point. Let us say the point is S. So positions are changed. These positions we can say x1 to x2 or 0 to s. So the displacement we can write as ds. As the positions keep on changing, the time will change. So the change in time is dt. So the mathematical equation for this one is v is equal to ds by dt. So if we cross multiplied the equations on both ends, we will get v dt is equal to ds. From the first kinematic equation of motion, we know that v is equal to u plus at. So now we are substituting this v is equal to u plus at in this equation. Let us say this equation is a or b. It is our convenient. So we know that v is equal to u plus at. Therefore ds is equal to u plus at into dt. So we should integrate the equation on both ends within the limits. Integrating the equation within the limits. So ds is rate of change in position. It is from 0 to s. U plus at into dt it is from 0 to t. So we know that integral ds from 0 to s is s under the limits 0 to s. So this will be u dt under the limits 0 to t plus at dt under the limits 0 to t. So this will be s on the LHS of the equation. U dt will become u into t plus at dt is t square by 2. So a into t square by 2, because integral x dx is equal to x square by 2 plus c, where c is integral constant. So this equation will become ut plus half at square. So this is the second kinematic equation of motion. The second kinematic equation of motion relates the position of the body with time. So this is also called position time relation also. As in the order, it is second kinematic equation of motion. So the next equation is acceleration is equal to change in velocity by time. So we know that A is equal to dv by dt. Now we are changing this dv by dt into dv by ds dot ds by dt. Anyway, this ds cancel out each other, then we will get the same equation. So we know that ds by dt is v. So therefore it will become dv by ds into v is equal to acceleration. If we cross multiply the both equations on each other, so it will become a ds is equal to v dv. So on integrating this equation within the limits. Here, position of the body is changing in the LHS of equation and velocity of the body is changing in the right hand side of the equation. These both are equal to each other with A and V are constants. So what we can understand is which physical quantity is changing with respect to time. For that we should integrate. So A into ds integral, the limits are from 0 to s. So V into dv integral, the limits are from u to v. So A integral ds is s, limits is 0 to s. Integral v dv, as we know, integral x dx is equal to x square by 2 plus c. This is the standard integral formula. So integral v dv is equal to v square by 2 under the limits u to v. So it is as v square by 2 minus u square by 2. So this 2 will be the LCM for the equation. So we will get v square minus u square is equal to 2as. This is third kinematic equation of motion. This third kinematic equation relates the velocity of the body with position. That's why it is also called velocity position relation. Where v and u represents the velocity of the body, where s represents the position of the body. Under the gravity, these three equations will change. That is the influence of gravity in these equations. Next, we will see the same proof of equations with the help of graphical method. Graphical method. So we should choose a standard graph to find the equations again. For this case, we should assume the motion of a body. So it is like this. We will take the acceleration as the main criteria. So for acceleration, on y-axis we should take velocity, on x-axis we should take time. Let us say this is the origin which intersects the x-axis with y-axis. So on x-axis we are taking time, symbol is t. Let us assume a body which has some initial velocity. So if the body has some initial velocity, as we mentioned in the earlier graphs, it will have the intercept on y-axis. If it has the initial velocity 0, it passes through origin. So let us assume body with velocity or initial velocity u. So it has started here. Let us take this point is A. So at a point A, the body has uniform initial velocity u, and the body was started under the uniform motion, and it has reached a point called B. At this point, its final velocity will become v. Here it has u. So again, if you repeat the same thing, the body has uniform initial velocity u, started from point A under the uniform motion and reached a position called B. At this position, its final velocity will become v. So here the time is 0 at position A, and the position B time is some t seconds. So for that purpose, from this point, we should draw a perpendicular normal towards the x-axis. It touches or it intersects the x-axis at a point called D. This 0 to D or O to D is T. And we draw a parallel line which is parallel to the OD. And this line touches the BD perpendicular line at a point C. So it creates one triangle ABC and one rectangle ACOD. Triangle ABC and rectangle OACD. Now we will find out the slope of the graph. The formula for the slope of the graph is tan theta. The first situation, slope of the graph. This is theta. So tan theta is equal to dy by dx. So what is dy, which is parallel to the y-axis, BC? What is dx, which is parallel to the x-axis, AC? Is equal to tan theta. But if you see the BC, B is at a velocity v, C is at a velocity u. That's why BC is v minus u. AC is, A is at a position O, C is at a position D, so OD is time. So the slope of this graph will give the acceleration. So therefore, acceleration is equal to BC by AC, where BC is equal to V minus U, AC is equal to time, where AC is parallel to OD, BC is parallel to AV. This position is E, which touches. So therefore, A is equal to V minus U by T, AT is equal to V minus U, therefore V is equal to U plus AT. This is first kinematic equation of motion, which relates the velocity and time. So next we should find out the total surface area of the graph. The total surface area of the graph, here it is a trapezium. of trapezium. S is equal to, what is the trapezium here? OABD. But this trapezium is a combination of one triangle plus one rectangle. So the total surface area of the trapezium, we can say area of the triangle plus area of rectangle. Area of triangle ABC. Plus area of rectangle OACD. The general formula of the area of triangle is half BH. So therefore it is half. What is the base of the triangle? AC. Height of the triangle BC. This part was over. Plus area of rectangle, length into breadth. So we can write OA into OD. Is equal to S. Therefore S is equal to half. So what is AC? A is at 0, C is at T. So AC will be T. BC, B is at V, C is at U. So BC we can write V minus U plus OA. O is at 0, A is at U. Therefore OA is equal to U. OD, O is at 0, D is at T, OD is equal to T. Therefore it is half T into, go to the back formula, V minus U is equal to AT, because A is equal to V minus U by T. So we can write V minus U is equal to AT plus UT. Therefore S is equal to UT plus half AT square. This is the second kinematic equation of motion, which relates the position of the body with the time, where S is position, T is time. The next one, third equation of motion. So what is third equation of motion? Yes, OABD is the trapezium. So we should find out the area of trapezium. So the area of trapezium OABD is S is equal to half D into H1 plus H2, where H1 and H2 are the heights of the trapezium by side, where D is the gap between the heights. So one height is H1 is OA, another height is BD. The gap between H1 and H2 is OD. So therefore half, what is OA? O is at 0, A is at U, this will be U. BD, B is at V, D is at 0, so therefore it is V into OD. OD is time. So therefore half V plus U, yes, V minus U is equal to AT, where T is equal to V minus U by A. So now we are substituting this T value in this equation. So therefore it is V minus U by A is equal to S. As we know, V plus U into V minus U is V square minus U square by 2A is equal to S. So therefore it is V square minus U square is equal to 2AS, where V is final velocity, U is initial velocity, A and S are acceleration and position of the body respectively. This is third kinematic equation of motion, which relates the velocity to position. Thus, the additional point in this kinematic equations of motion is distance traveled by the body in nth second. This is the one of the additional point which is helpful for the competitive exams. So, distance traveled by the body in nth second. Nth second means at that time. So, let us take a body. Maybe vertically or linearly it is moving. So, it was the 0th second point, the point where the initial position is 0th second. So, it has traveled to some position B from A. Time taken for the traveling of A to B is n seconds. When it is n seconds, it comes from like this n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 like that. So, let us suppose up to here n minus 1 seconds time it was taken. Let us say the point is some B dash. So, this B dash to B it was travelled in 1 second. So, the distance travelled by this body in this second is we are going to find out. So, whether it is n is equal to 1 second, 2 seconds like that, the heading is nth second. So, let us write S is equal to ut plus half at square. The distance travelled by the body in n seconds is Sn. In n seconds is equal to Sn. So, where t will become n because time taken is n seconds. Therefore, it is un plus half an square. The distance travelled by the body in n minus 1 seconds will become n minus 1 in the place of n. So, therefore, the distance travelled by the body in n minus 1 seconds will become Sn minus 1 is equal to u into n minus 1 plus half a into n minus 1 whole square. Now, the distance travelled in nth second is Sn minus Sn minus 1. The distance travelled by the body in nth second is equal to distance travelled in n seconds minus distance travelled in n minus 1 seconds. Minus distance travelled in n minus 1 seconds. So, Sn minus Sn minus 1 is equal to un plus half an square minus u into n minus 1 plus half a into n minus 1 whole square. So, therefore, un plus half an square minus, we should expand, un minus u plus half a into n minus 1 whole square, n square minus 2n plus 1, a minus b whole square, a square plus b square minus 2ab. Therefore, it is un plus half a n square minus un plus u minus half a n square minus into minus plus half into 2 get cancelled, a n minus half a. So, this plus un minus un get cancelled, half a n square minus half a n square get cancelled. So, u plus a into n minus half. So, therefore, Sn minus Sn minus 1 is equal to u plus a into n minus half, where a is acceleration, u is initial velocity, n is that particular time interval, nth second minus half. This is very, very important equations. Here one problem which is related to the kinematic equations of motion. A bullet moving with a speed of 150 meters per second strikes a tree and penetrates 3.5 centimeters before stopping. What is the magnitude of its retardation in the tree and the time taken for it to stop after striking the tree? So, when you are solving the problem, it is better to write all the physical quantities which is moving with the speed of 150 meters per second, means initial velocity is 150 meters per second, strikes a tree and penetrates 3.5 centimeters, means distance travelled is 3.5 centimeters. Before stopping means final velocity is 0. This velocity, with this velocity, it was travelled to this much distance and comes to rest. What is the magnitude of its retardation in the tree? Next, time taken for it to stop. So, first we will relate these three physical quantities, these four. U, S, V, A. The equation is V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. So, we should find out A, therefore, V square minus U square by 2S is equal to A. So, where V is equal to 0, U is equal to 150 by 2 into the distance travelled by the body is 3.5 centimeters, therefore, it is 3.5 into 10 power minus 2 is equal to acceleration. Therefore, acceleration is equal to 0 minus 150 whole square, 15 15s are 225, 0 0 by 2 into 3.5, 7 into 10 power minus 2. This 10 power minus 2 goes up, minus 22500 into 10 square by 7. So, this acceleration value, this will go to cancel and we will get the answer some 3.214 into 10 to the power of 5 meters per second square. This is said to be acceleration. So, this much is acceleration is needed with the help of symbol minus, where automatically A is minus means it is retardation. Now, we should find out the time taken for it to stop after the striking. So, we know that V is equal to U plus AT, final velocity is 0, therefore, 0 is equal to U plus AT. So, therefore, minus U is equal to AT, T is equal to minus U by A. Minus U, minus 150, where A minus 3.214 into 10 to the power of 5. Minus and minus get cancelled. So if you see the answer, we will get some 4.67 into 10 to the power of minus 4 seconds. So this is the time taken for the bullet to stop after striking the tree.